In May of 2024, our great American road trip took us east. We drove to Milwaukee and then took the ferry across Lake Michigan. We stayed in Grand Bend, Ontario on Lake Erie. Then it was on to Niagara Falls. We had a great room with a balcony view of the falls. Then across New York to Syracuse, where I learned the history of the Erie Canal. We took US 2 across Vermont and New Hampshire into Maine, where we spent a few days at Bar Harbor and Acadia National Park. We went as far east as you can, which is Quoddy Head, the easternmost point in the continental US. We had visited the southernmost point in the US in Hawaii in February, and later the northernmost point at the northwest angle in Minnesota in August. Heading west, we found Mount Washington in New Hampshire to be once again rainy and foggy, but we drove up anyway. As a lover of Thousand Island dressing, we made a pilgrimage to the Thousand Islands in Ontario. Then across Ontario to Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario, and Michigan. After the Soo Locks, we visited Whitefish Point. It's not on the way to anywhere, but worth the drive. We spent one night in Marquette, Michigan before heading home. In 2 weeks, we drove 3,987.6 miles. We traveled 7 states, 1 Canadian province, and saw 4 of the 5 Great Lakes. It was a great American road trip. Well, here we are, kids, at Lake Erie. We are at Grand Bend, Ontario. And this lake is Lake Erie.
Ooh, it's so eerie.
It's eerie, and it's friggin' cold because it is the middle of May, and the wind is off the lake, but apparently during the summer this is kind of a hopping place. But
It's a tourist trap, can I say?
It's busy even today. I mean, there's people, the shops and restaurants are busy.
It is a weekend. It's a Saturday night.
Saturday night. Usually we go to Costco on Saturday nights, but in this case we went to Canada, so it's a beach. Now, it's a little known fact. Geographers will tell you that Lake Huron and Lake Michigan are actually the same lake, the way they define lakes. The Strait of Mackinac is not a dividing line for lakes. It is for people, however. So, is this Lake Michigan, or is Lake Michigan really Lake Erie? I don't know. Don't bring it up. It'll start fights. Anyway, we're here. We're off to Niagara Falls tomorrow.
Finally, after 9 years, almost 9 years of being here, he's taking me to Niagara Falls.
I have been, this will be my 4th time at Niagara Falls, but I'm still looking forward to it because it's cool.
Okay.
All right. Hope you're having a good Saturday.
Selfie?
Hi, kids. Well, it's a great day to be in Niagara Falls, and it's a great day to be on the 21st floor and check out this view that we have for the next 2 days. Yeah. Marcia's never been to Niagara Falls. I've been here 4 times now, and it's still great. Hope you're having a great day. All right, Niagara Falls, right on the precipice. Huh? One of my bucket list things is to get behind the falls. There's tunnels and such back there, so I'm going to do that. I wasn't sure. I got my ticket yesterday, but I wasn't sure how to get there today, so I asked. She said, follow the light, and there it'll be. And here it is. Follow the light. All right, I got my poncho on. This could be a cognitive test to see if you should be in a nursing home. But I did it. Wow. This is pretty cool, folks. Very glad I did this. Now I get to go behind the falls. Here we go. So I'm in the tunnel, and you can hear the falls, but I can feel it. That sound reverberates through these tunnels. It's amazing. That's just cool. Fortunately, there is a fire extinguisher down here. I think the only fire that could happen if somebody just spontaneously combusted. But they are ready. So we're getting on the boat, and there used to only be one boat, the Maid of the Mist. Now there's two. The Maid of the Mist is over on the American side. We're on the Canadian side. So I don't know where maybe the two boats have cannons and they shoot at each other. That'd be kind of fun. What do you think, tourist?
I feel like I'm wearing a condom now.
So here we are on board the boat, which I don't know what its name is. Here's our favorite tourist. Do you have any comments, tourist, other than...
I'm gonna get wet.
Yeah, all right. Here we go. There's the other team over there. The blue team.
Your flag. We're Canadian for a day anyway.
Yay, red team. To save my glasses from getting wet, I just took them off. Our tourist, on the other half, is bundled up.
Biggest waterfall in the world with volume of water flowing at an average of 750,000 gallons.
That was fun?
We didn't go under it.
No. That was fun. All right, this is the Niagara Falls Aero Car. Here we go.
Hello, welcome to the Whirlpool Aero Car. My name is Madison, and I'll be your host for today's crossing. Stage 20, you will be switching sides. The trip will take around 10 minutes, 5 minutes there, 5 minutes back, During that time, 70 million liters per minute. These rapids are also classified as rank 6 rapids, which is the highest rank that you can get, which makes them the most dangerous rapids in all of North America. Because of this, those swimming, floating, and skiing are allowed on the rapids.
Today I am at the Erie Canal Museum in Syracuse, New York. And behind me is one of the canal boats from the Erie Canal. Pretty interesting being here, working on the video on the Northern Pacific and now working on the video about the ox carts that traversed between St. Paul and Winnipeg. It's transportation I find interesting, and I remembered back to the high school. Yes, I paid a little attention in high school, and I remembered hearing about the Erie Canal, Clinton's Folly, and what a foolish thing it was. And you think about it, digging a 350-mile canal across New York, yeah, in 1800, sounded kind of crazy, but they did it. They paid back their loans within 20 years, and by 1880 there were no tolls on the Erie Canal. It was a tremendous boom to the city of New York, the state of New York, the entire country, really. Once this thing was built, you could, of course by then you could take a train too, but shipping goods, you could go from New York to Chicago by boat. You know, and that's the American spirit. And here is what celebrates the Erie Canal and this part of American history. It's interesting. Here's the canal boat from the stern. Pretty good size. And imagine if you'd been shipping goods by wagon, which went slow. This was actually a lot faster. And look at all that you could put on here. Passengers, goods. I had no idea, but Syracuse was known for salt. And once the canal was built, you could ship a lot more salt cheaper. And it became a huge industry here, from being an industry to being a huge industry. And it's because of the canal and the canal boats. Oh, there's one coming up behind us. Better move along. Well, here we are in Maine. What an interesting place. I had this crazy dream last night that I was the last sane man on earth, and I was an innkeeper somewhere in New England, and there were these strange woodsmen who kept coming around. I don't know, interesting dream. Greetings from Bar Harbor. Here's our favorite tourist. We just spent way too much money at Getty's, but it was a good deal too. My dad, I hear Dad in my head. He was appalled at what we paid for dinner.
$10 for a beer.
I know, $7 for a piece of pie. It was darn good pie though. But I did not have the lobster because I wasn't going to bust it out of its shell. And they wanted to charge me $4 just to unshell the lobster. So anyway, here's where we are tonight. We're not staying there.
More than a piece of pie. See the cruise ship out there?
There's a cruise ship out there still hanging out. Look how clear the water is. Tide is up. Tide was out when we got here earlier today. One of these islands, I think that one over there, you can walk to when the tide is down, but the tide is up now. This is Bar Harbor, Maine, Acadia National Park, and we are on Cadillac Mountain, and this is the view. Usually you need reservations to come up on the mountain, but since it's a shoulder season, they let us come up with our shoulders. So this isn't the easternmost point of the U.S., but it's very close to it. But people come up here to catch the sunrise because this is the first sunrise in the continental U.S. just because of the elevation. The real easternmost point of the U.S. is about 100 miles up the coast here, and we are going there in 2 days. Quoddy Head Lighthouse. And that is the closest point in the mainland U.S. to Africa, believe it or not. You'd think it'd be Florida, but it's not. Look at your map. And technically, well, we'll cover that when we get to Quoddy Head. Stay tuned. Well, here we are at the easternmost point of the United States, the continental U.S. This is Quoddy Head Lighthouse in Maine. And there's the lighthouse, and over there is Canada. And this is as far as you can go. And if you get in a car at our house and drive east, you drive 1,985 miles to get here. And here's our tourist joining me on this crazy trip to the easternmost point in the U.S. We were at the southernmost point in Hawaii in February, and we will be at the northernmost point in Minnesota later this summer. That's the plan. And the westernmost point in Washington at some point, don't know when. Don't know if we'll ever make the southernmost point. I don't think I care that much. And Fort, what is it, Key West? I'm just not that interested in going there. Not a bucket list thing, but if we can do it, that's fine. But here we are at the Quoddy Head Lighthouse. Pretty cool.
Brr.
It's great.
It's cold.
It's cold. So we hear a foghorn out there.
And a leghorn.
Foghorn and a leghorn. We're seeing signs for moose, but we've seen no moose. Only
my money back.
Only squirrel. And maybe we'll see a moose before we leave Maine tomorrow. But here it is, folks, the easternmost point in the United States. This is the Bay of Fundy, the highest tides in the world.
Nova Scotia's up there?
No, I think that's New Brunswick. And then I assume that's part of New Brunswick over there, and Nova Scotia's beyond that over there.
Some people chase rainbows, you chase tides.
Tides, the highest tides in the world. You know, I can tell you the moment that I had to come here. And I couldn't look up the day, but I was a kid, probably grade school, and Bemidji, Minnesota had US Highway 2 that ran through it. It now bypasses the town. But just 2 blocks from our house was US Highway 2, and my dad told me that, it is a national highway. It's not a state highway. It doesn't end at Wisconsin or North Dakota. No, it would go that way to the Pacific Ocean in Washington, and it would go that way to the Atlantic Ocean in Maine. And I just thought that was the neatest thing ever. I don't know why, but it's just kind of the way I am.
He's easily entertained.
Easily entertained. It was at that point that I really became a voyager, a traveler, an explorer. I've always wanted to know what's down that road. And here is the end of the road. 1,985 miles from Brainerd, Minnesota is Quoddy Head Lighthouse in Maine, and you can go no further.
And now you know.
And now you know. By the way, here's an interesting fact, because I know stuff. This right here is closer to Africa than Florida. This is the part of the U.S. that is closest to Africa, right here. Who knew, huh?
This doesn't seem
And
right.
they say this is the easternmost point of the U.S. However, people say that there is an Aleutian Island that extends beyond the international date line. So technically it is the easternmost part of the U.S. I don't know. You can fight over that. I'm not going to. So Alaska technically could have the easternmost point, the westernmost point, and the northernmost point in the U.S. But
And that's trivia you'll never need to know.
but now you do, just in case. You could win a bar bet.
Nope.
Quoddy Head Lighthouse. I love it. Mount Washington, New Hampshire experiences some of the worst weather in the world. Winds regularly exceed hurricane strength. But on April 12, 1934, the weather station measured winds of 231 miles per hour. All right, kids, well, we're going to drive up the Mount Washington Auto Route, and we were here 2 days ago, but it was raining, so we said, let's go out to Bahaba and Quoddy Head, and we'll catch it on the way back. And we were on the way back, and then we got here yesterday, and it was raining. So we said, let's wait till tomorrow morning, and now it's tomorrow morning, and it's still raining. But what can you do? That's just what travel is you go with it. So we're going to drive up the auto route, which is 7 miles with no guardrails, and our tourist here is going to hang on tight. But it's going to be fun. We're going to video the whole thing, and then you can watch chunks of it. Here it comes.
This is a two-way?
So it takes a while to get up to 7,000 feet.
My ears are going to pop, aren't they?
They're going to blow out.
Oh, no.
That's the way it is. That's
Yeah,
what
we
happens.
came through here, on Friday? This is Sunday. We came through here on Friday, went out, came back, went out to Maine, came back, and the weather said cloudy, but no rain. Honey, get over a little bit. There's a drop off here on the... Oh, look, snow. Oh, good. Look, snow. There's a no passing zone here, by the way. That's a great idea. Don't pass. Okay, we're doing another switchback. Are we almost there? Oh. I'm sorry, that's almost straight up. So, top of Mount Washington, there's the sign that says the highest winds recorded, 230 miles an hour. Notice they've got the building chained down. There you go. There's some some anchored towers. I assume that's the weather building over there. And this is fun. If you need a portaloo, they put them in these shipping containers so they don't blow away. That's what you do when you're in a place that gets a lot of wind. Isn't that great? Hey, look. There's our favorite tourist. Having tons of... Wife made it to the top only because there are porta potties up here.
Check out the fog. Oh well, this is where you practice your attitude stuff.